We're live. Hello, everyone. My name is Rome Neal. I've been performing this one-man show, Monk, about Thelonious Monk for 20 years now. I'd like to welcome to the screen my co-host, Sean Vaughn Scott. Hi, Sean.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome this evening. On behalf of Dr. Mona Vaughn Scott, our Artistic Director of Black Repertory Group, we're proud to collaborate with Mr. Rome Neal, our Delco Award winner, as he portrays Thelonious.
As I portray Thelonious Monk in this one-man show by Laurence Holder that's been around the country, east, west, north, south, for the past 20 years. So sit back, relax, and have a good time. And meet us in the after party that's going to happen after the show also, where we get to ask, you can get to ask questions, you can be a part of the entire evening, and some host or some other folks from the jazz community who knew Thelonious Monk will stop in and say some wonderful things also. So make your comments in the comment section and be a part of the magic that we create. And my stage manager on board will collect these comments, and we'll have a Thelonious Monk homage poem out of it. So enjoy yourself, folks, and sit back, relax, and let's have Monk by Laurence Holder. I'm a piano player. Play music, jazz. Aficionados dub me the high priest of bebop, baby. Jazz music. Music is mathematical, 4 beats to a measure, 32 bar tunes. 12, 16 bar blues, 3 sharps, 5 flats, that kind of thing. Yet, music isn't mathematical. Good music, that is. Good music is what fits your ear. Sometimes an 8-bar bridge is too long, so I shorten it. 5.5. 3.5 sounds good. Flatten the 5th, the 6th, the 9th, 13th, if it sounds good. Sometimes go the other way, lengthen the bridge, shorten the chorus. So you see, mathematics is a tool to study music. Math ain't music. Hear me when I talk. I was in Peter Stuyvesant High School, math physics champ. So I know something about what I talk. I need a drink. Found it. One day Mama comes up to me. Must have been about 5 or 6. And she's looking down at me with all her black, brown, tan loveliness glistening in my eyes. Her eyes are huge globes, planets, astounding me with gentleness. Smells of lilacs and orange trees, that's what starts me on this music odyssey.
Sit up straight. Sit up straight.
Yeah. Mama gets a piano and encourages me to play. When she smiles at me, I know there's nothing I can't do. So I do, to please her. I mean, she is Mama, so I smile too. First time she hears me play a tune, she's coming from the kitchen, folding her apron, because she's getting ready to go to work. She says real quietly, looking down at me, "You do it, boy. You just do it, young man." I can hear her voice now from over there.
Sit up straight.
Yeah.
Sit up straight.
Resonating right here.
Sit up straight.
The look on her face is so intense. A halo surrounds her. I see her even now smoldering in front of me. And she takes me into it. A protective web. She shields me from all the noise and squalor of thinking wrong. See, she knows she's church. Mama. Besides, I got this chest condition, so the trumpet is out. Save Dizzy's ass. This piano takes me over, baby. That's what happened. It pulled me in with Mama's blessings. I know I'm not politically correct here, but I am creatively correct. If you want to do something like play, you have to play. Schools don't do that. They don't encourage you to play. They encourage practice. They encourage conformity. Throw scales at people. Let them play. They gotta live. Most of the young cats ain't cut no bones, if you know what I mean. So conformity is not my style. My mother sees to that. She encourages me. She doesn't encourage the schools to do me in. Man, I play every day till I'm drunk with notes running through my head. Some days I play one note. Over and over. The neighbors are burned. But I do it so I can hear the note. I write tunes, it happens naturally. See, you have to listen before you can learn. You can't learn until you have a language, something to say. Yeah, sit in the center of Central Park in a rowboat. Hear the water running in 6/8 time. Hear the birds wobbling their 4/4 tunes. Hear the horns, hear the hustle, hear the rumor, hear the joy, hear the humor, hear the moments, baby. That's when you're free to explore. When you translate what you feel into music. James P. Johnson, Willie the Lion Smith lived in the neighborhood, so the music is in the air. Duke Ellington's in with Billy Strayhorn. They live just a couple of strides up the way. Long strides. So stride piano becomes my game, yeah. Stride, baby, stride. Stride, baby, stride. Stride, yeah, stride, stride, stride. I get to be about 15, 16, I stride right out of school. Hey, they give me a scholarship. They want me to be in the school band. I get to the school, they won't let me play. Now what am I supposed to do? You see any of those school people around, they tell you I was a pretty good basketball player. See, any of the people who search the street for meaning, they tell you I was good with my hands.
Stride, baby, stride.
Yeah. Played lots of games, played them with Nelly, then with the kids. But the concepts come through mama from God. My mother raises me in the church. She's Pentecostal. Later on become Jehovah's Witness. So quite naturally, the first music I play is church music. And since I'm good with the keys and we have friends in the church, I get a job playing piano for a female evangelist. And for 2 years toured the segregated South with her. Man, one of the most chilling times in my life. You know about that, don't you? Time and place in this country when a man of color gets off the road at night. Because all men are not created equal, nor are they endowed with inalienable rights. You better get that shit out of your head. Pastime is the tar and feather black man. That is for hot, boiling tar on his skin, then rinse him in feathers. Big sport.
No good, no good.
But the alternative is strange fruit hanging from poplar trees. Billie Holiday line. And if you were a woman, the sport became more sporty. Gang rapes were a frequent but underreported phenomenon. Then there was always the body turning up in a ditch or a swamp, beheaded, mutilated. It was a way of life for the tormentors, the tormented. We play traditional hymns, bring out the best in people. How I know brings out the best in people? People like to move when they sing, jump when they shout, moan when they blue. That's me, baby. At least a part of me, but you can never be sure about anything, can you? It isn't easy playing my music, and that vexes me. I mean, who wants to play alone? I want to play with the greatest musicians available, all of them. I do. I really begin to think of myself as an elder of the new gospel. Yeah, when you're a little kid running around, you don't know too much. It takes years of knocking about before you find out what you can do. Most people end up working for someone doing what that other person wants done. That isn't cool for me. That kind of school isn't for me. I found myself. If I stayed in school, become a scholar, I know I would have lost out on me, never become what I am, which is a player of the keys. I'm no different from James Baldwin, who never went to college, but who's taught in college. Ralph Ellison, he never went. Those guys wrote from their gut, from their intelligence. Am I getting through to you? Yeah, baby, go to school, get an education, and lose yourself. Only special born to the manner people find out who they are under those circumstances. Now, don't get me wrong. My mother wants us monks educated. Education is a premium, a must. That's if you want to marry the pretty girl next door or be considered anything. And my mother wants us to be the cream of the crop. I even take a few piano lessons. But trial and error, baby, that's my school. Years of work before mastery of your own senses are realized. Ask the Eastern philosophers. Ask the Western ones. Takes years. Whereas the other way, you still ain't got close to your own soul, ain't met up with it. And you spend too much time doing wrong things, you never find out who you are. Because you let in all the ideas, notions, schemes, and evils of other people. And people can be evil.
No good, no good.
Between me, mama, the church, and my extracurricular studies, like hitting all the clubs I can, listening to all the players, and sitting in whenever I can, I learn. Find out what there is in me and how to get it out. Dig. You're sitting in a club at a piano, right? Damn thing's out of sorts, missing keys.
It ain't tuned. Some paying customer comes up to the piano, drops $1 on the counter, swears he better hear Melancholy Baby or else. Now what am I supposed to do? Got to play the dang thing! Though he don't know what he gonna hear, it ain't gonna be his Melancholy Baby. Come to me, my melancholy baby, cuddle up and don't be blue. Shit. Man, I'm right now midnight. I'm 17 years old. Nobody's playing my music because they don't understand it. You don't understand it, how can you play it? Shit, sometimes I didn't understand it. You understand me now? Running subway streets all time, day and night. Doorways, underpasses. Looking for something. All kinds of weather. Absolutely out of my mind searching. One note, bang. And the next, bang. Didn't always have a piano either. Notes in my head and remember. And I was fortunate I get to Maxine Sullivan's house up in the Bronx. Now she has the greatest piano. Then I hear that first note, bang, and the next one, bang. Led me all the way to around midnight. But underneath it all, I'm alone. Off to the side of everyone. Nobody's afterthought. You still don't understand. You think of one hell of a ride, a walk in the park, a whiffy breeze in the air. But most of the early time was nothing happening, baby. Period. No movement. But that didn't mean we didn't have fun. The Millers, the Shores, to our cacophonous, slashing, unheard brilliance, baby. Typical jazz guard, like Bird, for instance, works over the same changes as the sweet, silly swing music. But the melody and the rhythmic lines are more vigorous, more rigorous, more attacking, more... Yeah. Like How High the Moon becomes ornithology. And you can still hear the original. Don't get me wrong, I like the music. Some of that stuff is terrific. Especially when we play. But Diz, Bird, Cloak, Max, and the rest of the boys do this as a way of getting back at the controllers of the music. Ones making all the money. Publishers, distributors, salesmen, that bunch. Man, it was corrupt. I mean, they're the ones keeping us in dingy saloons and crummy clubs, paying us in drugs and pennies. Sometimes not paying us at all. Screw them. Jive cats. We were revolutionaries, outlaws, baby, and we knew it. But we don't say that out loud. They put those microphones to our faces, ask us how it feels, digging ourselves out of the tombs the business has created for us. We make jokes about it. Crazy, baby, ain't nothing to it, slick, we cool. Shit, we bop them. They think we soft in the head, but we weren't. We put together music that the ones who control the music business, their preferred players, can't play. Now imagine me playing with Laurence or Guy Lombardo. I would have loved it. My music's so tough, got musicians coming to the house all the time. All they want to know is how they can get some of the monk magic. One monk got Miles slinking up to the house every day trying to find out about some chords. dizzy too. Now these boys are musicians and they want me to teach them how to be me. I laugh at the project, howl at the prospect. Be like me. Shit, I ain't even me. One day some jive skinny sucker tried to steal some of my sheets. I see him grab me, he's headed out the door. I say, hey, where you going with my sheets, man? Jive skinny sucker's got the nerve to say, I'm taking him to my job, the folder stack. I'll bring him right back. Now I stand up to my full height, walk to the door right in front of him. I don't have to say another word. He answered back to me. I gotta be more careful. Motherfuckers trying to steal all the time. Even friends. Like one time I hear Art Blakey's going around using my name to sell his new group of jazz messengers. He's going around telling all the club owners he's got me playing for him. He gets the gigs. Only one problem. I ain't playing for him. Club owners go crazy when I don't show up. But it's a good group anyway, even without me. Another time, me and Nellie sitting at home minding our own business. Friend of hers come by and say there's some cat out front claiming to be me so he can cash in on me. I'm on it in an instant. Cut to this little back-ass club and discover that Lil Bud Powers walking around saying he's Thelonious Monk. I look at him, shake my head. He looks back, shakes his head. Now, I'm tagged. He's tagged. No, but come on, I just want to talk to you. But how can you impersonate me? Now Bud looks me straight in the eye, shakes his head slowly and says, I ain't impersonating you. I am you. You should know that by now. How come you can't remember anything? Now I forget the last comment, and I love him when he gets like this paradoxical shit. Now that's interesting, but so how come you cashing checks? I ain't cashing checks. You think I'm doing that? Then I know you crazy. Then what are you doing? Look like this, man. Here I am playing piano at one of the swings, right? And I'm playing your tune, Midnight. And this blonde babe walks up to the piano, says in the sweetest, throatiest, sexiest voice, did you write that? Now what am I supposed to do, ma? And her leaning all that flesh in on me on this shoulder right here. Go on, bud. So I said, yeah, baby, I'm Thelonious Monk. And I said proudly, Monk, because I'm representing you. And the babe wraps her arm through mine, walks and sets me at her table with the heads of movie studios and all these other fur babes, and she's still charging me up. Monk, are you listening, man? She's still charging me up. I think her name was Marilyn or something like that. I can't even show you. Now, the incident is over. And if Bud is stealing from me, Harry Columbia find out and that'll be that. But Marilyn, well, music does that to the women. And he is smaller than me, less threatening. But he must have been a bitch because, after all, he is the great Bud Powell. You dig? Well, I done. Yeah, we speak different from y'all. Everything's opposite. Good is bad, bad is good. That's a bad hat. Only we call a hat a sky, a brim, or a lid. All the time outdoing each other, the fastest, the funniest, the most listenable, the baddest. Compete, baby, run it up, get to the air, jump, baby, jump, can you do it? Ow! We develop new handshakes, give off a sly handshake. You remember Give Me Five? Yeah. Where do you think that came from? We had new shoe styles. Florsheim Stacey Adams was famous uptown. Threads, vines, shoe. Our zoot suit regenerate the entire clothing industry. And our hats.
Oh, yeah.
Our hats were the rage. We conk out here, then put down anyone who does that. Conking goes right out of business. Understanding is digging, top is down, down is top. Cats are dogs, and dogs are cats. We inverted everything. We didn't like it, we changed it back. Returning war vets backed us. They love the music, the atmosphere, the energy. You see, change was in the air, baby, real change. We all knew it. We were driven by it. Everything got faster, 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 more dangerous. Style and substance, baby. We're all over the place, codifying the new lingo, yes, the new age. Shit, we fighting for our lives. Nobody wants to go back to playing sweet, silly swing. We're in opposition to them. Because they putting us down on radios, newspapers, magazines. Attack the mad fiends, devils, music, kill the bums. It was worse than a giant Dodger game. It was. Of course, there was cats that looked out for us. Lenny Bruce, Lord Buckley, Mort Fege, Feather, George Wein, white cats, just as dispirited with the times as we were. Hollywood began using the music. Look what it is today. Our influence. Where do you think this expression to put down originates? You got 5 seconds. Ring! The answer is the expression to put down originates with us. We were the baddest. We are the revolution when you really get really down to it. We changed music. We changed life. Words don't cut it. That's another reason why I never talk much. No, I'm way past that. Way past that. See, in the beginning you have me, my original cause, my ideas, my notions. All you have to do is sit back, relax, reflect. More importantly, if you're not too inhibited, you can dance to my music. I do. Playing music is waging war, baby. Recording contracts, we up underneath the music business. Nobody's afterthought. Diz get the first contract, makes the first record as a bebop band. Then we break out. But 4 years is a long time for a musician. A long time. There's a band on recording. Can't make a dime as a side man. Always a band on things we do. Lasts for about 2 years. Not happens to a musician if he's devoted to the music. A lot of things. He picks up habits. Boredom. Madness. Hatred. Sad to think of all the fellas who succumb to those evils.
Stand up straight. Stand up straight.
People say we people making the new music have gotten really intelligent. More than likely, we've always been intelligent. Now we're geniuses. Diz, Tad, Hawk, Fats, Art Tatum, Bud, even me. But they fight it, baby. They fight it with all kinds of tactics. I still get pissed when I think of all the doo-doo they say about us just because we got a black, brown, tan fancy. Niggas ain't smart, niggas ain't never gonna get smart, niggas just dummies, everybody's a stepping fetching. Stepping fetching. Shit, Steppen was a genius. Made his money in Hollywood acting just like they wanted him to act. His music was slow, but it was music, baby. Just like Bilbo, Django Robinson, Lena Horne, Ethel, Dorothy, and all those other great Hollywood CBS stars. Even those crazy-ass bigot people who run the music business know they had geniuses on their hands. We all make money for everybody. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been there. That's kind of how I was thinking was going to happen for me. I stick to my style, wait for fame, fortune to catch up to me. But I ain't giving up this style that my mother, sister, and friends in the church done helped me to develop. No, baby, not that. I was, am, and will always be me, Thelonious Monk. My father was Thelonious. My son is Thelonious. My grandson is Thelonious. My mother gave me that name. End of game, period. I may never get rich. After the tour, people see me different. I mean, I still have fun with my friends, but it's about the work. It's always about the work. You see, the joy is where the work is, and the work is where the joy is. You keep twisting and twisting until you develop a world of joy. I'm up just like I am now, right here in the now and the no. Yeah. Monk upside down spells no. And I did know. Most of the other cats didn't know. Too busy playing their hearts out till death rode on down and scooped them up. Drugs, alcohol, women. A lot of cats died from that. Then there was the hatred we all felt from the police, courts, judges, club owners who made all the money from our labors. Agents and managers, they do the same. Explored us like it really didn't matter. We didn't have rights anybody was supposed to abide by. Sure does get dark when you add up all the negatives and weigh them. You know what I mean? I mean, sometimes it's light and clear and you can see forever. Other times it's dark, foreboding, chilly. You don't get the right players, the connection don't make it. You don't get paid on time. Sometimes you don't get paid at all. And it squeezes in on you, baby. Makes you nothing. They take away the piano, you fight to get it back. It reduces you, baby, cypherizes you. In the middle of a sunny day and you're all caught up inside your soul like a mummy. You can't talk to no one knows what's going on with you. You're buried. Buried alive. Standing on the street corner waiting on the bus. Oh! People are in the space between the here and the now. The two extremes of life. Some of us are stuck between the here and the there all the time, like a wishbone. I'm telling you so you know.
No good.
Just what did Bud Powell have in his mind when he jumped between me and that cop who was arguing with me about moving along? What did I have in my mind? Arguing with the cop when I'm standing in front of the club where I'm playing. And what did the cop have in his mind? And why is he there in the first place? So the here and the there are places we go. We go there sometimes. Jazz musicians stay right there, slowly turning, burning, incinerating with anger, rage, frustration, and joy. Yes, joy, baby! They fire hose Bud in a train station once. He's sitting on a bench in a railroad station, looking at the Art Deco, which the Philly station is so famous for. They kicked Art Blakey so damn hard in his head, he had to have a metal plate placed in his head. They took a nightstick across Mouse's head, and they've hit me too. They've hit my hands, my fucking hands! Hurts awful bad just because we play. Wake up in the middle of the night, sweating and screaming. Nellie puts a soft cloth on my head to hold me down. She can't, but I wake up sweating and screaming. I can't go down for days. Be pacing back and forth like a fucking tiger looking for the prey. Smell of blood in my nose, but there ain't nothing there. Look at the kids looking back at me wondering, what the hell is going on here? and Nelly be telling them they gotta be quiet. Daddy's got a headache, keeps working on the tune, and he'll get back to them. And I always want to get back to them. I always want to get back to them. They are me, I am them. Play games in the bed with them, holding them, feeling their tiny little bodies, giving themselves up to me just because I am their daddy. Man, there ain't no greater love, no greater feeling. You got to know what I mean. I can't be telling nobody how much it hurts to live. How can I tell Nelly that? Nelly, despite my musical genius, I am a nutcase. I don't have to tell her that. She just knows. Where's that brown-headed monster?
No good, no good, no good.
Now, getting high is like playing music. You do so at your own risk. If anybody take risk, it's me. I take it in the music, which is why you're here. I take risk in real life, which is how I create the sound I do create. The 2 and the 3, it all goes together. Ain't no magic wand shit, ain't no Cinderella story. I work my ass off. Take the things I take the lumps I get, and wait in the damp in the dark until someone turns on the lights. Till I be discovered. And when the lights come on, there'll be music, baby. And it'll be glorious music. Ready, willing, and able. I've been waiting a long time. A long time. See, I had this friend, Bud Powell, wildly wizard on the keys. Just the opposite of me. Crazy cat, could play. Bud would play odd Tatum runs just to fool around. And Bud played everything. Horses, women, drugs, drink, friends. Not necessarily in that order either. Bud stands up to that count. I stand up to that stupid drug rap. Did 2 months in the slammer for it. Second rap for me. Bud's drugs though. 2 months felt like 10 years. Cut out. Dark, no lights. But I'm not alone. I am alone. No one to hear me if I talk, no one to talk to. Nelly's not here. Nelly! Nelly! Man, what an emptiness.
No good, no good.
Sitting outside her room, but she ain't here. Nelly ain't here. Nelly's sick. What? Nelly's sick. How you doing? How you doing? Castratized. Sitting, looking for some light, a way out. Searching for some light. Trying to get to some light, trying to get out of this jail cell, trying to get to Nelly. You stupid son of a bitch! Why did you do this to me? What was in your head? Stop screaming. Nobody hears you when you're solitary alone. Why am I here? Why am I in this jail cell? Because of a friend? Because of the law? Courts? Judges? Hatred? Nelly got sick. I must have ran out of my mind, humping the streets. A wandering woman begging for more. Nelly, I never told you the way you made me feel. The floor shakes when you speak so soft like you do. And when you walk, Nelly, you, the universe, you, my angel. Sisters from the church saved the day. And family, always family, they keep me from falling back into that darkness. Took Nelly time to get better. You see, that's the best part. Serving her for a change. Appreciate her for all she does for me, the kids, and then herself. The woman, I gotta go before her. You see, there ain't nothing if there's nobody for you to love. It ain't even important if they love you back.
No good, no good, no good.
Bud gives me a pain in the ass. When he stands up to that cop, I had to stand up for him. I always stood up for him. Since the first time he comes into mittens. Crazy cat. But he can play. I need a drink. Anyway, it's me, Kenny Clark, Charlie Christian on the guitar with a house band. Me and Bud get to be friends. He likes my music, starts into playing. All of a sudden it's him, Cooley Williams, Bean, Hawk. The great Coleman Hawk is playing my music. And the world knows who I am. At least the world I was in, my peers. You see, you don't understand. Bud has found players of quality to play my unplayable music. And when these cats play, they legitimize me. Diz was at Mittens, he always knew. Bird don't come along until later. He's around at Monroe's Uptown, another club trying out the new music. But the music is proven, I played it. Used to win all those amateur competitions at the world famous Apollo Theater. Won so many competitions, they banned my ass. You see, the people knew they did. They hear themselves in the music. The people want to dance, to strut, to stride. But the record producers, club owners, they showing us time and time again that they were fools. Didn't know their asses from their elbows. Dear Thelonious, why don't you write another melancholy baby? I know we can sell that one, and that'll lead to others. That's all I have to do, huh? Write another melancholy baby. They all like round midnight. Meantime, I'm still writing. Develop a repertoire. And all of a sudden, slide, Jackie, slide, slide, Jackie, slide. Jackie Robinson, juice up the world, baby. I get my first recording contract. I can lay some of the stuff down with some of the greatest players at the tops of their games. Bags, Rollins, Blakey, Roach, you name them, baby. We don't sell many records. Distribution's been hampered. But they all become classics like everything I do. And we get notices. And it's the right time to marry Nelly, too. Oh, forget about Ruby. I know what a good woman is. Mama taught me that. And you fulfill that and more. You're deep, Nelly Smith. And I tried to write that and play that because you are a fascinating woman, Miss Nelly. Nelly, my mate. You are so great. I love you, yes I do. Shabba dee boo dee boo dee. If the good is gonna come, she's gotta get a piece for herself. And I take care of that. I take care of my family. I put the copyrights to all the tunes in their name. See, I'm not stupid. I'm just not pushy. The good is gonna come or it isn't. But it doesn't. Because that fickle friend of mine throws the dope on my lap with the cops right there. What was he thinking?
Stand up straight.
Okay. We just pushed ahead. There was no nail gnashing and shit like that. We know life. It's me, my mother, my sister, my brother, Nellie, Toot and Boo Boo, my 2 kids. Oh yeah, and Harry Columbia, my invaluable manager, beautiful cat, just to take care of me, his only client. Now Harry is an exception to the rule. I remember when he comes up to the jail to see how I was doing. Monk, I don't know how to say this to you. What is it, Harry? This incident is gonna cost you. It's gonna cost you badly. The Birdland deal is dead. Dead. We tried to squelch it. Your name doesn't even appear most of the time. But they know who it is, and it's like they're sticking it to you and to all the other guys do. You stay in your place or we'll bury you. Harry's right. Everybody else in the car gets off except for me. I'm the other musician. And there's only 2 musicians in the car. 2-bedroom apartment is small, but there's so much love, nobody's screaming. And we all have fun. Till my mother passes.
Stand up straight.
First one thing, then another. Lose the cabaret car, can't find work in public. Gotta keep on the slide, skimming tenement walls, lying in the dark. But these years are the turning point years from obscurity to recognition. Newport Jazz Festival, new contract, more company. New company, more records, a little bit of money. We're starting to travel now. But there's more darkness this year, baby. More darkness than ever before. My mother dies. She's gone.
No good. No good.
There's this hole in my gut, in my heart, in my head. In my being, I'm falling, baby. I'm falling down a flight of frozen fucking stairs straight there. My brother's dead. No more mama, no more smile, no more encouragement, no more nothing from my heart. Come on, baby. Gotta get away from just staring out the window. I'm incomplete. I'm fucking hollow. In my mind, there's this emptiness where mama is. Darkness, baby. Blackness. You can't know blackness. Do they really like the music? Am I some kind of freak out here? What is it?
No good.
Can't listen to the negative. Listen to the positive. Listen to Nelly. Get some of the shit off your soul. The right players that come along, they always do. But Nelly's sick. Why's Nelly sick?
Stand up straight.
Suppose there's no word. Suppose one of those kids gets sick. What am I gonna do? Talk to me, baby. Make some sense while you at it. Nelly working 10 jobs a year, and still there's not enough money, and she's sick too. My mother getting sick too. Nelly's sick. Both my women sick. What can I do? Nelly's sick. No, don't tell me she's not sick. I see her bending over when she thinks I'm not looking. I'm telling you, she's sick.
Sit up straight. Sit up straight.
Nothing. Can't do nothing about any of this shit. Just gotta sit here and go out of my mind. Come on, baby. Get spiritual. But why can't it be right for me? Why can't it be right for us? All we're doing is playing the music, the way it's coming out of me, the way it's coming out of us. Why the rejection? Why the hatred? Even Louis Armstrong said he don't know what kind of music we play. Louis Armstrong, Satchmo is one of us. Yeah, baby, I don't know what kind of music they play. Is it Chinese? Yeah. Somebody must have put him up to that. They do that sometimes. But if he doesn't know, then what? Oh, God! Oh. I go out how many times even I can't remember. They give me pills to control the depression. Pills supposed to slow me down. Pills just get me high. Man, when Mama died, I must have stayed up a week. Walking, running, jumping rope. Yeah, jumping rope. Used to jump rope for the kids to get in shape. Gotta get in shape. Be ready to play on the moment's notice. In shape. Shut up, bang. I feel so good I can take on Joe Louis. But I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna let him be the champ. Get in shape, be ready to play on a moment's notice. Whose tune was that? Train? Whippoorwill. Cat Diamond, did I write that? Off minor, wouldn't you? Why can't I remember anything? What's the matter with me? Am I losing my mind? Doing anything not to think of the unthinkable? Mama died yesterday, tomorrow she's dead, I'm dead too. Blackness, baby! Blackness! You gotta love this blackness. The place where nobody knows you. You don't even know yourself. Oh, just sit here and contemplate my navel. Nobody bothers you here. See, not here, in this place, hot or cold, it doesn't make a difference. I'm inside my head. I'm inside my Bushman head. And that's what's got them so bugged out of their minds. If they had to take what I take, they would quit. Oh, I don't see how he takes it. But I do. I go on and on. Fuck you. Ooh, gotta get control. Nellie stayed and saved me. Well, you knew that. I'm working 10 back-breaking jobs while I'm out there trying to make it in the darkness. Look, you can't keep telling a woman how great she is. Show her. There's some light at the end of the tunnel. I go to Paris for a concert. Just to explore the waters. I meet the Baroness. Takes her with all her influence 3 years to get the card back. The cabaret card. She takes the place of my mother. My mother's dead, going to heaven. I know that's what some experts of psychology would say. But we meet not as mother and child, but as artists and patrons. Monica, terrible price, of course, her holding on to her jazz fins, cut off from her father's fortune. Lord Rothschild of the Rothschilds. Too bad his loss, the world's gain. An artiste, you know. Shit, she taught Lionel Hampton how to write his name. She caused the light to come out and stay for a while. Yeah, baby, I got the spotlight. Change company to Riverside and the door open while I'm getting sick. 2-3 times a year. Light goes out and stay for a while. And I be knee deep in pain, can't even scream it out. Bud once told me he wrote music on sanitary walls. Well, I play floor piano. When Bud died, my son had me locked up for, not locked up, he had me put in, he didn't have me locked, he put you in the hospital. Yeah, okay, he put me in the hospital. My son put me in the hospital for 2 months. We keep these things from the public. We know you all can't handle it. Can't ever understand what's going on. So when I get sick, we just say I'm sick and I'll be out to play tomorrow. Thanks for coming by. And that's that. When I was a kid, and I heard the sirens, and I used to run after them. I was the perennial child, baby. Used to hang around the fire station to finally make me their damn mascot. What does a kid know? I ain't a mascot now. But then, people bump into you nowadays, they don't feel obliged to say anything to you. Most people act like you owe them an apology. Nobody listens to you, baby. Nobody's ever going to listen to you, even if you're rich or famous. You're always suspect. It's in the Bible. Bearers of water and wood. But we're bearers of wisdom and knowledge. Somebody must have inverted the lines. Ain't that a recipe for frustration and damnation? But when his own kind can't stand it. You see, this thing ain't only about color. It's about difference and dissent and discovery. And there's forces against that, and jazz musician got it triply bad. Nobody wants to hear his music, not really, unless it's someone wanting to come out and feel something. And those people are always suspect. Leftist, unionist, the avant-garde, the free-thinking, and the common ordinary person. Yes, him, he's at the root of the music, the human part. Ain't no secret, is it? Jazz makes you feel yourselves, give you a chance to heal yourselves in your mind, a chance to commune with yourself. You know what I mean. And if a motherfucker don't want to hear jazz, you should stay away from that sucker. I got a concert tonight. Nick and Nelly were telling me when it's time. Anyway, that's another thing needs to be cleared up. A lot of folks are thinking nasty, thinking there's something between me and Nika. The thing I got going on is with Nelly. Nelly's my mate.
Stride, baby, stride.
She was always my girl. She comes around before anybody. Me and her brother were the best of friends. Then one day, she's looking at me. And I'm looking at her. It was nice. She's there in the beginning, the middle, and she's gonna be there at the end. End of game, period. Banana Katsu at the middle and the end. That's why I wrote that tune for her. Nika, patron of the arts, loves herself some jazz. Jazz musician loves her, baby. She shares herself with others. Where the hell would Bird have died if it hadn't been for her? Bird had closed all doors of help for himself. His self-hatred is so great, he ends up killing himself. She gives him food, a place to go peacefully. He could have died right out there in the streets like so many others. I know a lot of people are confused as to why would Bird do this to himself. Why did Bird do that to himself? Why did Bird do that to himself? Well, the answer is simple. If you do something so great, so many people admire it in you, but you don't get the cash, the credit, the communion. Your ass is mud. Your conch is frizzy. Your body odor is outstanding. You ain't shit. And you get treated worse for it. Everybody's got to have a release into drugs and all the attendants, crooks, bad dealers, courts, judges, even the clerks, baby. If the government wanted to get rid of drugs, they know how to do it. When they wanted to get rid of the Black Panthers, all they said was, these boys are a threat to society, and they started shooting motherfuckers to death. The men, the women, the children, yes, the men in their beds while they were sleeping. So the government ain't interested in that. The powers to be see the long arm of the cash, and they got their needle-stroked arms outstretched for their share. Shit. It's the government keeping us all locked in on color, keeping us all separated.
Stand straight.
Monk's time. Got me this group on the Bowery, the 5 spot, the place. Trained Wilbur Ware, Shadow Wilson. Later on, Little Giant, Johnny Griffith. Ahmed Abdul Malik. Roy Haynes. Even met this young drummer, Ben Rowley over there, took him on the road with me. Started modernizing the place. The first urban renewal project in the city is letting Monk play out loud on the Lower East Side. I get to Riverside, I'm a youthful, quiet, staggering, forceful, quiet big man. 40, 40 baby, you know what I mean. I'm in total control. So I get pissed when Keith News comes up to me and says, Thelonious, I think we need to get people used to your sound since it's so unique. Record producers want me to record other people's music. Harry says, be cool, man, be patient. Patient shit, how long be patient? First album is recording Duke's music. Now that's not so bad. I love me some Duke Ellington. Second album is the album All Standards, All My Choice. But it finally explodes for me when I'm allowed to record my own originals in brilliant corners. Allowed. Well, that's it, baby. Sonny Rollins, Ernie, Henry Clark, Terry, Max Roach, and Oscar Pettiford on the bass. We all put it together, very few people understand it. But it sounds like hotcakes. And I don't have to be patient anymore. You know, the women like going out. They like to see who's doing it. They like the nightlife. They like the action and all the other inducements of getting their panties down. The men are coming because it's the new thing. Big, shining, powerful, driving thing. We musicians are saying something. Me, Brownie, and Max, Miles, Hawk, and my main man, Elmore Hope. We're angry young men, angry because we're young, angry because we're men, and angry because the people we want to like the music don't like it. The people with the big bucks, the big bang money, they don't know what to do with us. I mean, you play pretty, you have a chance, you have an angle, they can sell that. Miles is sex, Prince of Darkness shit. Bird is the demigod. Some people call him the father of us all. I don't know about all that. There's plenty of cats. Take fucking Billy Eckstein. Had the whole bebop crew in his band, kicking ensemble. Max is the intellectual. This is the clown prince. Bird didn't like that. But he had this notion of the music being accepted like the sweet, silly swing, like classical. Me, I'm the high priest of bebop. I'm enigmatic. They don't know what planet I came from. I'm weird. I don't see why they have a problem with that. I don't philander. I'm not violent. I'm the epitome of me. Which don't give me too many jobs, not at first. Plus I have this habit of not showing up on time. Like Bird, but I had a master plan. Dig. You show up for a gig on time, there's no tension, there's no build-up, there's no backdown. I mean, you pretty much become background music for the teaming, the chattering, the unlistening. You show up there late. People they're on edge. They waiting for you to do something different. Shit, they may even listen to the music. Don't get me wrong, I ain't angry with the customers for being that way. They figure they pay the right of admission, they can do whatever they want to do. It ain't a movie, it's only music. Besides, we had nothing in the way of publicity except for Diz. Diz, the indefatigable one, does everything but pay the customers to come in. He gives them a glimpse into the inner world. Hot, steamy, sexy, illicit, sunglasses, beret, goatee. That was me. It became Diz. And you dance to Diz too. in concert halls, gymnasiums, throw up a tent, baby. We did everything to make sure the music stands out in everybody's mind, including not showing up. Now, if that ain't taking a risk, then what is? Now, the junk is a part of it. I don't care what the goody-goodies say about hiding it, making believe it doesn't exist. It's a part of all of us. All of us. This doesn't take the stuff publicly like some of us others celebrating geniuses. Bird hardly ever lost his cabaret card, but he was a monster mash. Me, yeah, I messed around a little bit. Don't tell Nellie nothing about it. She denied it. And she won't be lying either. Shit, I took it because it took away the pain of being rejected over and over again. When I arrived at Men's, I was already ready. Bird was ready, Diz was ready. We were all ready. The Ulysses had to wait almost 20 years for fame and fortune to catch up to me. When it kicks in for me, Bird is already a memory, dead 2 years. My motor car starts rolling and Diz is almost playing rock and roll, still smiling. Miles is on his golden ascension. He done cleaned up his whole act. You see, it was the only way, baby. Those of us who survived had to come clean. Gets came clean. Anyway, Brownie is in with Max. Oh, Brownie already dead from that awful car crash. Damn. Clifford Brown, baby. The cleanest one of us all. Anyway, Blakey's formed the Jazz Messengers, and I have played with every great musician there is. Yellow and brown, white and black. You name it, baby. Most people like that Monk meets Mulligan stew we made. I like it too. But then again, I like everything I did. Mulligan had to clean up his act too. You see, it was the only way, baby. Surviving that primeval swamp. Christmas time, I get this recording date with Miles and Milt Jackson and some of the crew. And we're gonna record Bags 2, Bags Blues, real tough blues. Now I can play the blues. Miles calls me out to the side. Lay out behind my solo. Lay out behind you. Who the hell are you? Why you want me on the job anyway? Now I look at this little hip pipsqueak who I love and I want to tear his miserable throat out. Lay out behind you. Don't you know my mother just died this year, my father is dead too, and my mother is dead too, so confusion is the rule once I'm out of the house away from Nelly, and you little gorilla motherfucker want me to stay off my keys? Don't you know I make the piano do what I want it to do? Don't you know I bend it, break it, distort the damn thing? If I have to get the sound, the articulation, what I want? No, not what you want, what I want. Don't you know I've been waiting all my life to be accepted for what I am, who I am? Don't you know that? Don't you know that what you're saying is that my sound discombobulates you? Don't you know that? Yeah, but it's gonna sound better. I remember what Harry and Nika said, and I keep it all bottled up inside my head and put my hands down slowly and play the shit out of my solo and comp behind everyone else to take it so tough they recorded twice on the same album because Monk's name is on it. Monk, baby. The Miles has planted the seed, but it's a festering soil. Suppose one day nobody wants to hear me play. Suppose I get lame. Just suppose.
Stand up straight.
Miles ain't said shit to me about that since. And I planted a little mysterioso on and started his comeback for him. And I'm not whispering that too tough neither. But I saved his ass. But I guess Miles must have thought everybody would think that it was my gig and not his. Jamal says, 2 liters?
Stand up straight.
So your ass is getting kicked over and over and over again by the ones you love and the ones who don't love you. You do things to even it up. You find yourself a space in your mind where you can go, not care who's looking, listening, or reporting. So you get high. And you stay that way for as long as possible. Until you burn out. Yes, that's what happened to Bird and a million other cats. Description for my pressure. Whoa, whoa. Horses' hooves to melt down new brain cells to destroy new minds to forge. I see things different. Words don't make sense. They mean something to some people, something different to me. I say it's jive. I play music. When they close the lid on my ass, I want everyone to just shut up and go home. I may even, only a nut like Buck Powell would say that. I cremate your ass, Monk. You see, it was a fraternity we all belonged to. We were the ones who kicked it off. We were so completely misunderstood, even by our own. Lots of sweet, silly swingers hated us. We started getting more work, taking it from them. But we were the ones getting our heads banged in by the cops, and we knew, that only if you bend me a thing. Oh, God! Please, God! Oh, don't close the blinds, keep the lights open. You know I'm a man of few words. Let me stay a while longer. Let me talk a while longer. Oh, God! Oh, shit. Oh. Like that. Splitting headache. No one around to understand what's going on.
Stand up straight. Stand up straight.
We jumped to Columbia, we could reach more people. But in retrospect, we get treated pretty roughly, in and out, and we're seldom late for anything. I mean, we're not always bright and shiny, but we make money for them. I bet you they still got music we play. Of course, they get me on the cover of Time magazine. I'm 46 years old. Now that's the achievement, getting old. Ain't it funny? When they put you on the cover of a magazine, they really retiring your ass.
No good.
Got some other players to play and make money out of it. Now, it's a business decision when Columbia refuses to offer us another contract. Fuck them! Mindless automatons! I am Thelonious Monk. I don't need their money. We got money. We're rich. We have each other. You see, you have to be in the crucible to know it exists. You hear the wisdom of sweat, sitting hunched over some unyielding keyboard. Thousands of distractions, thieving musicians, starving musicians, people trying to harvest your yield. You hear that in the music and you respond to it. I am primeval fucking man, come to play the 20th century, baby, to play jazz in the vanguard of the revolution, the real revolution, the one going on internally inside all of us who play the music. Tolerance, respect, dignity for human beings is what's going on inside our hearts, our minds. It's what's going on inside all of us. People don't even know I read, much less hear my music. Oh, God, it's coming through me now. It's taking me away. Oh. All of a sudden, I don't want to play anymore. For anybody. Not even me.
No good. No good. No good.
Barry Harris gets a concert. I'm supposed to appear. I don't show up for any of the rehearsals. Barry realizes he has to go on in my place. Nika tells me all this. Shades me into going. Drives me across the Hudson to the concert. I arrive. 10 minutes to showtime. To the amusement and relief of all concerned. Good concert. Lots of fun. Last time, I feel myself coming apart. My head from my neck, slowly shooting away. Oh. Something else is happening. It becomes more important than playing. The darkness keeps engulfing me in pain.
Stride, baby, stride, baby, stride, baby. Sit up straight, sit up straight, sit up straight.
No. You can insist. Me, Nelly, live on the top floor of a mansion in Weehawken, which is cool. I stare out the window, look at the skyline, the place where it all happens, New York. Remember some things, forget many more. Sit, watch TV. While Nelly feeds me, watching me waste away. She ain't happy, but she knows that this is the price for all the brilliance, darkness, for all the music, silence. I'm lying in Nelly's arms when I Hey, Art, my man. Art, what's happening? Bags, Bird. There's Diz. Where's Bud? He's coming, ain't he? I did. So what's going on? Why the concert? Oh, it's my birthday. Yeah, that's cool. Wait a second. Hey, Nelly. I'm going out with the fellas. Come by later.
So good, so good, so good.
Yeah. He's talking to Lady Henderson there.
Listen, I hope you all had a good time with this play because, like I said before, I've done this play for 20 years. I've done this play for 20 years, and every time I see it, I'm blown away. Thank you, Sean. Thank you so very much. Listen, first of all, I'd like to give thanks to your mom. She's the one that had the insight to bring this play to Black Repertory Group in Berkeley. She wanted to bring the physical production there some years ago, but it didn't work out. But things always work out as planned, and we were able to virtually be there and all around the world with your theater group there. So we're very blessed to be able to share this homage to Monk on this special day. We have in the audience, we have Eddie Henderson, who was around during that time, a great trumpet player, Dr. Eddie Henderson. And I'm sure you have some words to share with us. Now we're in the after-party mode, and we have some, if the audience has some questions, I feel free and I can answer the best I can. But again, Sean, thank you and your mom for having the umption to bring this Monk magic to Berkeley, California, to your theater company. You're muted, brother. We're going to unmute you. Can we unmute Sean? Okay,
What
good.
I'm trying to say, Rome, the personification of Thelonious Monk, well, I think I was there. I felt like, I'm a younger guy. I felt like I was there. I mean, how did you do that? Where did you pull all of what you gave us from? I mean, was that through research? Tell us.
Well, it was a hell of a lot of research, my brother. I had with me the playwright Laurence who was superb in helping me through this whole mission. When he brought the play Monk to me, the first time it was as a two-character play with Bud Powell and Thelonious Monk. We did a reading of it. I didn't get the chance to play Thelonious Monk in that particular production. However, we were coming back from North Carolina Theater Festival one year, and he said he always wanted me to be his Thelonious Monk because I looked so much like him at the time. So Laurence says to me, he says, well, I'm going to write you a one-man play about Thelonious Monk. And he wrote this play. It took him about 2 weeks, and he wrote this wonderful play about Monk, and he said, you ready to do it? And we were at the New Week in Poets Cafe, and we put it up there for some wonderful people, and we ran for 2 months at the New Week in Poets Cafe Off-Broadway, and then we came back again and ran another 2 months, and then we finally decided to raise enough money to take it off-Broadway, and did 2 months off-Broadway with it, and the production that you have just seen is the off-Broadway production of Monk. So a lot of research went into it. I had to go out to the jazz club and hang out with the musicians to find out, what was the impetus of being a jazz musician and what was into the idea of Thelonious's mind, doing this music and the jam sessions and being around all that energy. So that kept me focused on my mission of trying to becoming Thelonious Monk. And then I had to go to places where Monk played and just taking the energy, like he played at the club Minton's Playhouse. He was the house pianist there. And I went there one night and it was closed. And there were some people you couldn't go in, but somehow I walked past these people. I walked in and walked up on the stage where they have the beautiful mural on the background, historic mural on the background. And I just walked there and did a little spin around, took in the energy, and slid on out of there. So, things like that just brought me closer to him. I went down to 63rd Street where he lived at since being a youth. And while at 63rd Street, I was able to be in front of his house and then taking that energy. And that was wonderful to be on that block, which is now called Thelonious Monk Circle Square. So, it's a lot of, I get the chance to talk to his son, Thelonious Monk, the third rather. Was it Thelonious? His father was Thelonious, the third, yeah, because there's a fourth one too, the grandson. But I talked to him, and we went to his home, and he gave us some notes on, getting the story of his father right, and I'm sure we did it because he's said from time to time that certain times when he saw the play, it was so scary, he saw his father up on the stage. So I was happy to be able to do that. Some of the great people have seen the play, like Max Roach, who was at the New Week in Poets Cafe. And Max came up to me one night and said, "Man, you were Monk up there. I know Monk. I played with her. You were Monk." So I feel good about that. And talking about people who knew Monk or about Monk and was around the time, we had Eddie Henderson here in the house. Come on, Eddie, tell us some little
Oh, that's so many.
tidbits.
Yeah, I have so many things to say about the great Thelonious Monk. I remember the first time I saw him before I met him. I think I was in college, and this is in San Francisco, and my stepfather was a doctor, and I believe he was Monk's doctor. He was Miles's doctor. He was Billie Holiday's doctor. All the great jazz musicians. And my stepfather, my mother, took me to the jazz workshop. This is before I met him, a jazz workshop in San Francisco. So we get there early. Oh, I must say that the Thelonious Monk was one of the most unique individuals I ever saw and met in my life, which is exemplified by the way you portrayed him. Rome. You
Thank
really
you.
brought out the character of him. Well, anyway, we're sitting there for the first set. The club is packed. And, the band played. Charlie Rouse was in the band. I believe Ben Riley. Monk didn't show up. And so the club, I was right near the club on. He calls Monk. Monk's still at the hotel. Says, "Well, aren't you coming?" And from what my stepfather asked the club owner, "Well, where's Monk?" So the club owner said, "Well, Monk said he'd be right here." The second set started. No Monk. Club is still packed. They're making money. And then the set ended. No Monk. So the club owner called Thelonious again and says, "Well, I thought you would come." He said, "I'll be right there." So the third set, the last set started. This is like a Saturday night, lines around the corner to see Thelonious Monk. And all of a sudden, in the middle of the set, you have to realize the configuration of the club. There's an aisle down one side and an aisle down the other side, like two aisles going to the bandstand. And anybody who ever saw Monk knows that if you saw that movie of him, I think it was Straight No Chaser, he
Yes, that's the
twizzled
one.
the circle.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
a cab pulls up. Monk jumps out the cab and twizzles in the club down one aisle and gets to the bandstand. The band's playing, I think, "Well You Needn't." Boy, they swinging around the corner. Monk starts dancing, and he's sweating like about 5 feet away from the piano. He's standing up, and all of a sudden, in the middle of the tune, he makes a beeline and hits one note. And where he placed that note was absolute genius. And after he played that note, he twizzled down the other aisle, back out the club, and got in the cab.
Oh, wow.
I said, "What?" I mean, I was like about 19. I didn't understand. I said, "What the heck is that?" And then the next time I saw him, I was going to Howard University, and Monk was supposed to play there at the big Crampton Auditorium, and the band was late. And so everybody knew I played trumpet, and actually Donny Hathaway was going there at that time. So they asked Donny Hathaway and myself to come up and play. So we started playing a Monk tune, a couple of Monk tunes like Blue Monk, Well You Needn't. And by that time, Monk band showed up. I think they drove down from New York. So when I went, they stopped us, went in the back room, and Monk is still twizzling in circles. Always had a hat on, you know. So he was so cosmic looking. I was afraid to even approach him. I mean, he was sweat, and he played the way he played. You know, nobody else played like that. You know, he was really a man of himself. You know, he really portrayed who he was, the way he talked, the way he spoke, the way he played. Everything was the real deal. Now, the next time I saw him, you know, I went to Howard University Medical School, and after I finished that, I wanted to specialize in psychiatry. So I was in San Francisco, and I was at Langley Porter Psychiatric Institute on a call one night about 3 a.m. They woke me up and says, you know, Dr. Henderson, you have a patient. I said, oh shit, you know. And I went downstairs and looked at the patient and said to myself, oh my God, that's Monk. You know,
wow. Dang.
with a stingy brim hat on. And Nellie brought him in because he wouldn't talk. He wouldn't eat. She had to dress him and feed him. And so she explained that, you know, he was almost like you know, like a robot, so to speak. And so, of course, he was playing that little ring he always was playing with, says MONK. And so me being the psychiatric resident there, I'm supposed to ask him, you know, well, Mr. Monk, why are you here? He was playing with the ring and smiled and gritted his teeth and turned the ring upside down and said, Monk, no. Monk,
Yes.
no.
Yes.
I said, and that's all he would say the first interview. And I said, okay, I dig. You know, so the next day, I have some little notes in chronological order. The
Go
next
right
day,
ahead.
we have a little discussion with the psychologist, you know, like the Rorschach test and all that stuff. I'm sitting on Monk's left. The psychologist is sitting on his right. And he's in the middle. So the psychologist asks him, you know, what does this mean? Now, Monk, you have to realize Monk's in a psychiatric hospital. So Monk looks at me, you know, and says, is this cat crazy? It don't mean nothing. It's just a picture. You know, I said, I know, you know. So he wouldn't respond to that. Now, this next thing really got me. There's a thing called the thematic apperception test where they show you a picture and you're supposed to interpret. It's a picture of a little boy, looked like he's about 9 years old, grimacing, playing the violin, and a mother and father figure standing over him, you know, with a grimace on their face. And it looked to me that like so they asked Monk, well, what does the picture mean? He said, it's just a picture. It doesn't mean anything. So the psychologist kept pressing him to interpret the picture. So Monk looked at me on the side and winked on the QT, right? He just winked. And he said, okay, the little boy's really drugged. So the psychologist, really, Mr. Monk? Why? So Monk looked back and winked at me again and said, because his mother won't give him any more sex. You know? Psychologist dropped the report. Monk jumped up and said, is that what you all called me down here for? And twizzled out the room. So they know what to do. You know, when somebody comes in a psychiatric hospital, before they can diagnose what's wrong with him, they give him Thorazine until they go to sleep. You know, like 100 milligrams will knock you or I out, a normal person. And so quickly, and within 1 week, they take any patient they don't know what's wrong with them, acting strange, up to 3,500 milligrams a day. And so in about 5 days, they got Monk up to the ceiling, and he's still walking around knocking on my office door asking for a sleeping pill. You know, so he absorbed all this. So they didn't know what to do with him. So the next step was to give him an electroencephalogram, you know, the brain waves. And so I'm standing there, you know, I'm the resident doctor learning all the mores of how to deal with psychiatric patients. So they strap him in, got all the wires in his head. When it got to the accumulated drug effect over his whole life, the wire, the needle jumped right to the top. And Monk looked at me and said, "You dig?"
Oh,
And so,
whoa.
so the next step, the bottom line was electric shock therapy. I was standing right there and usually they give shock therapy to depressed people. They're not sure how it works, but it does stop depression and or schizophrenia. They use it on that. This was way back in 19. Oh, this is not way back in 1969. They still use it every now and then, but not as much as they did then. So I'm standing there, and like Dr. Frankenstein pushed the electricity on, and anybody who has electric shock therapy, they have a grand mal seizure. You know, so they put the tongue depressor in their mouth, and Monk did not have a seizure. He looked at me and then just kind of mumbled, "Hey, Doc, get me out of this motherfucker."
Oh, wow.
You
Whoa.
know, and so they had no idea what to do with him. So he's on all this medication, and so as I said, they didn't know what to do with him, and so oh, another thing, they had role play where all the patients would get together, and the head psychologist was trying to get them to talk to each other. So then Monk wouldn't talk. So most other patients didn't want to talk. So the psychologist gets up, and he had a three-piece suit on. So he's strutting around in front of the patients, and he asks Monk, he says, "Well, how do I look, Mr. Monk?" So Monk looked at him and said, "Sit down, nincompoop. You look okay." You know, he shot straight from the hip. He didn't pull his punches. He told people just like he felt. And then what else do I have here? And so I finally told, because the staff really after shock therapy, all those medications, they were going to send him to Napa State Hospital, like the backboard, and just throw the key away. But I told him, I said, "Wait a minute, this is a creative genius. No, so let me take him to this club in San Francisco, the Bovan Club."
Go ahead, brother. Go
And
ahead.
and so I had to take Monk from the hospital every night to make the gig in my car, and then bring him back home and report the
Oh,
next day.
man.
So we're riding in the car to the gig. Now you have to realize he's on 3,500 milligrams of Thorazine a day, which 100 would knock your eye out. And he's still, you know, wide awake. And so when we get there, he looks at me and says, "I heard you play trumpet. You want to play some?" I said, "No, I'm your doctor now. No drugs, no drugs, no alcohol, because if he did that, it would just multiply the electric shock therapy and the medication times 3, you know." He said, "Okay, doc, you're the boss." He walks in the club. The first thing he orders is 2 beers and 2 Jack Daniels, and washes it down immediately. And then, so I'm foul. So what am I supposed to say? No, it's just Thelonious Monk. I could have, but it wouldn't have made any difference. So then he goes in the back room and orders a gram of cocaine,
Oh,
splits
no.
it in half, with a matchbook, a half a gram in one nostril and a half a gram other half in the other nostril in a 1-in-1. Then he starts sweating like he jumped in a pool. I thought he was going to have a heart attack. So it's time to go play. So he marches up there. He's dancing and stuff, sweat, just his suit was soaking wet. And then come time for him to solo, he would push down the key far enough not to make a sound. The whole set. The band was so drugged with him. You know, it had Paul Jeffries in there, Ben Riley. I forgot who the bass player was. But he didn't make an audible sound. And the audience is saying, what? We paid money to hear Monk? And we can't hear him, you know. So now finally the gig gets over. He's soaking wet. I had to take him back to the hospital. And so he looked at me and said, hey, Doc, that was a good night tonight, huh? I said, okay, if you say so. So the next day at the staff meeting, you know, they asked me, well, how did he perform? I said, well, the way he performed, he's back to normal. He usually is. So if it wasn't for that, they would have locked him away forever at that Napa State Hospital, like the untreatable patients. And so they wanted me to sign the discharge diagnosis to let him out. And the discharge diagnosis says schizophrenia, unclassified type. They didn't know how to classify Mr. Monk. And the last time that I saw Monk after he got discharged, I visited, the Baroness's house, that Rothschild heiress. He stayed there. She gave him a free room. He and Barry Harris both stayed there.
That was in Jersey, Weehawken.
Yes.
Weehawken.
So I went over there, and the Baroness had a fetish. She loved cats. And I went there one time. The Baroness had 267 cats.
That's right.
So you know how that house smelled. It smelled like, so when you walk in the living room, she's sitting there with a long cigarette holder. She's, oh, hello, Dr. Henderson. How are you? There must have been 95 cats in the living room with litter boxes, and there's a big staircase. She says, oh, Mr. Monk is upstairs. So I had to climb over about 70 cats just going up the steps. And check this out. So I opened the bedroom door, and Monk is sitting in a round king-size bed where you could look at the skyline of New York. And he's fully dressed in a suit, a little stingy brim hat, and a little thin tie on top of the covers, just looking straight up at the ceiling. And so I said, hey. He said, hey, Doc, how you doing? I said, I'm fine. What you doing, Monk? So he says, I'm waiting for a phone call. He really never looked at me. He's just looking at the ceiling. He says, I'm waiting for a phone call. I said, okay. And ironically, about 10 seconds later, the phone rings. He picks it up, doesn't say a word, listens for about 20 seconds, and then hangs up and said, that wasn't it. I said, I'm out of here. I'm through with it.
Listen, I want to tell you that you have, I've done a lot of research, right? Your take on the schizophrenia and being in the hospital for that, and the genius of this man, it's really taken me to another level. Every year I learn more and more about Thelonious Monk. So when I do get on the stage again to perform it, I'm taking that energy with me too. So I thank you so very much for that.
Well, you really exemplified it, Like schizophrenia, sometimes a person can be lucid. I could talk to him. You think he's in, and 10 minutes later, you could look at him and see in his eyes, vacancy, no room for rent, and he's just somewhere else, And one other thing I might say, just about how candid he was in his relationships to people. Ben Riley, his drummer, told me Monk was really a man of few words, but when he spoke, it was volumes. Ben Riley said when Monk first hired him, usually people have a rehearsal with a new drummer. There was no rehearsal. So he asked Monk, well, what do you want me to do? So Monk says, playing with the ring, grit his teeth. He says, I want you to pick up both sticks and hit the cymbal as hard as you can and then swing. That was it. And then Paul Jeff, this is the last thing I'm going to say. Paul Jeffries, the tune Epistrophe, Baud-Louis, there's a little pickup. And so after Paul had been playing it for 5 years, Monk came over and told him, you playing the pickup, the first note going into the tune, wrong. It's a half a step above that. So Paul said, why didn't you tell me before this? So Monk said, I thought you'd dig it after 5 years.
Oh, wow.
He was a hell of a guy.
This has been wonderful. You just made the evening for me. Like I said, I've been doing this play for so long, for 20 years now, and I've taken in so much wonderful information from so many great people who knew him, who played with him.
Right.
Dr. Billy Taylor, Randy Weston, all of the greats, and they just love to play. We had one night, we had Ruby Dee and Ozzie Davis sitting up front, just checking the show out. And George Wein, the first night of the first opening, George Wein and his late wife were there sitting up front that night. And I had auctioned off a copy. I think it was a VHS of the show. I auctioned off a VHS of the show, and George Wein had purchased for $200 that night that DVD, that copy of the show. But this one here is for you, brother, and it's my gift to you for being so wonderful. See if you can see. It's the DVD, and I'll make sure you get that.
Oh, I love you too.
Thank you for that wonderful insight and making this particular homage to Thelonious so very special. Because again, when you talk about schizophrenia and the sickness of it all, you showed us something that was truly special, and I wish everyone could have been enlightened by that, because this man was a genius beyond the schizophrenia.
Absolutely.
Yes,
well, thank you for having me, my friend.
It was my pleasure. Okay, and on that note, I would, Sean, is he back? Hi, Sean. Sean's in the house. Sean, again, I'd like to give thanks to you and your mom for holding down a wonderful theater in Berkeley, California, the Black Repertory Group. For 58 years, you cats been holding it down, making theater live there. And, you got the Black Seed Grant for it, which is something that has been going around all over the country to make theater happen. And you deserve it. You truly deserve it. And
we thank you for telling us that, Rome, and Dr. Henderson. We sure appreciate you coming in and giving the background, because Black Repertory Group Theater is about telling our story. It's all about our story, because if we don't tell our stories, we might as well have book burnings and join.
Well, we again would like to thank Dr. Mona Scott for her insight and love of this work and the work that I've been doing. She's been checking out my banana pudding jazz over the past over this pandemic. But this is the 7th banana pudding jazz that I've done, and Dr. Mona Scott has been checking those out, and she's been loving them and loving the work, and she brought together a wonderful 2 days of Rome Neal energy with banana pudding jazz and the one-man show Monk to for the world to see. And and she told me about her wonderful friend, Dr. Henderson. So again, it's been this Black History Month. This is our month of showing appreciation and love for us and the history that we've laid down over the years, and we continue to make. And tonight has been a truly historic night in Black theater, Black music, and our Blackness period. So we're very blessed, and I feel so good. I feel so good about tonight and what we just did for the folks to see. And I'm glad you were a part of it, my brother. Sean, I'll leave you with the last note before we close shop on this. No, I have a special surprise for your mom. I got to throw in. She wanted me to do around midnight somehow, so I got to pull this up for her. But Sean, go ahead. Whatever you want to say, go ahead. Sean?
Well,
Sean.
I tell you, Rome, it's a pleasure come and be part of your sphere and bringing together the West Coast and the East Coast.
Right.
Okay, so we keep going in and out here, but that's all right. This is the virtual experience, and that's what we get with the virtual experience. But we're let's listen, guys. Let's just deal with it because we're finding our way. And as my friend Antoinette Montague, who started me on this virtual plane, she says, we're making lemon out of lemonade, and soon we're going to have a delicious treat for us. Because if we don't get into it now, someone else is going to take it away and do their thing, and we probably can't even get into the door. So we're on the virtual plane, and we're starting to make things happen.
There you go.
And okay, so again, I wanted to get to this. There's some tribute I want to do, singing around midnight for your mom who asked for it, and I don't know how to do it, but I got to get to my desktop. I wish this is the time I wish I had my son with me, but we'll get to it somehow. Let's see. I'll go. Okay, I'm gonna bring you guys out for a second, and bring me out. Let's have a hand for Eddie Henderson, y'all.
Thank you.
And let's go again, Sean. Thank you too, and thank Mona. And also, let me give a hand to my production stage manager, Clea Chow, on helping to run the show for tonight, doing a wonderful job, helping to keep it on point. It's not easy when you're doing this kind of work, but again, we made it happen, and this is the first time being able to do a full video on StreamYard, so it's an honor and a pleasure to do it and be able to share it with you guys. Okay, so that's about it. I can't find that. I wanted to do this round midnight tune, and I can't get off of this platform here. We can't do everything, I guess, but I don't know how to do this. Let me see. I may go out.
Okay. Natsuko. I guess I'm here in the show. Okay.